get quite relaxed, put some nice background music on and tell some stories and some lessons I've learnt from this scape, some up and coming exciting news, including some changes to my home aquariums. And yeah, really cool events. In fact, we'll talk about that now. Roots and Shoots are holding an event to celebrate aquascaping and wabikusa and basically anything's planted and aquarium related in London. It's the 10th of June. I will overlay the details now and I'll put a link in the description. So come along, it's free. I believe it's free, or it might be a couple of pounds a ticket. I'll put the details there anyway. But London, very soon, 2 weeks time, basically. I'll be there doing a workshop. Toys Treatment's going to be there doing a talk on habitats and stuff. The Horniman Museum are doing a talk on corals, I believe. So really well attended event and I'm very excited for it. So please come along if you can. Great food, great people, great event. Hopefully you can make it. So this Aquascape and other news. I was going to strip this Aquascape down until today. I realised I love it so much and I've spent the last 2 days getting it ready basically to a standard where I can photograph it for a competition. So I'll overlay the B-roll now of all of some of the work that I've been doing on it, and I'll overlay close-ups of the plants and the fish, and I'll put the subtitles so I can identify each species for you as well. But yeah, it's just been an absolute joy to live with, especially the last few days where I've given it lots of care and attention. And yeah, I just wanted to share some insights into the things I've been thinking about the last couple of days as I've been spending so much time with them, filming them, contemplating with them, just consuming them. This Aquascape, you know, from not just necessarily a creative side, you know, like creating content around it, but also consuming it to relax and just feel part of it and feel the therapeutic side of aquascaping, because it is deeply therapeutic. And it got me thinking about, I was asked a question recently by a dear friend of mine who's writing a book, and he said, George, can you write a piece around the reasons why you aquascape? And I thought, what a great question, and I've thought about this a lot, and I could list a whole, list of reasons of therapeutic benefits, for mental health, for discipline, for feeling at peace, and a connectedness with something, natural, nature-based. The creative pursuit of actually, visualising, imagining how the aquascape's going to mature and evolve from a visual and aesthetic point of view. How the plants are going to change colour, change size, change form, change texture, change the whole dynamic of the whole kind of canvas. And there's just so much so many layers of creativity with aquascaping I've been thinking about recently. And it's just fascinating question, why? And I couldn't help but list in my mind almost a list of achievements that I've undertaken with aquascaping, like box ticking exercise, written a book, started a society, successful YouTube channel, magazine article, you know, keynote presentation, all these lists, accolades, and I just thought, I wonder why I'm so motivated by that high achievement thing. Because I don't do it for that. I do it because it's the only creative pursuit that I undertake that I feel that I'm genuinely talented at, despite a childhood of being very discouraged with any creative pursuits. I was very much a kind of creative person, a creative child. I would love drawing, love singing, love dancing, love playing instruments, but my father was ultra critical, and nothing I did was ever good enough, you know, and he particularly criticised my creative endeavours. I remember spending hours and hours drawing. I used to love drawing, especially landscape photos and seascapes, and my dad just would criticise them really heavily, and I still love doing them, but I did start doing them in secret because I knew he would criticise them. So there was something weird going on. And then I'd love singing out loud, and you know, I was quite vocal, and I was always told to be quiet. I was always fidgety and dancing, and you know, a little bit, I don't know, wandered around in class a lot, interrupted a lot. I guess I was a little bit of a naughty kid sometimes. Anyway, this is all relevant for later on in the story. So yeah, I kind of had my creativity squashed a little bit at school and by my dad. But I remember a feeling, the best feeling I ever had at school in terms of a creative endeavour was, I think I was 8 years old, and I just had to draw a very simple shape, like almost like a figure of 8, but a bit more complex with a few more loops. And all you had to do was colour in between the lines. And I think we just had 3 or 4 colours, primary colours, and maybe green. And I remember colouring it so neatly and so diligently. I remember it being so neat and so colourful and so kind of uniform. Like the technique that I did using for the colouring was so, like, you know, the overlays were perfect. And the teacher was so impressed that they got me to take it round to all the other classes and show the teacher of the other class and show the whole class how neat and tidy and brilliant this colouring in was. And I just remember that was the first ever time I felt genuinely valued and approved of, and indeed loved. I just felt this sheer acceptance. And then after that, just always wishing I had that level of acceptance the whole time. So with my work now, I'm always striving for that perceived perfection of being able to show it to everyone and have this adoration. And I guess that's the big motivating factor for my work. And then I start to think, why is that? Why do I need that external validation at all? Why can't I just be satisfied with it for myself? You know, and I absolutely would be. And I am. But I do love to share it. And I do think it can benefit people in different ways, you know. For me, it's like it's something that you have a positive impact on. You know, the better you look after it, the healthier it looks. I'm probably going to have to pause this because my stepson will be back from work soon. But recently, in the last 2 days, you know, I've done 3 water changes, I think, in 2 days, because I've been messing around with the leaves and cleaning the algae and stuff like that. So replaced the foreground substrate, which I think looks great. I might do a bit more work around here, add a few more smaller grains, because at the moment it's either very, very fine grain or very large grains, so I need some in-between grains, I think. But I'm massively rambling, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's just a real joy to live with, and I was thinking of shutting it down, and the reason for that is the cichlid tank. The fish are just getting so big, and there's so many of them. They've been breeding, so I either need to give some away or take them to my local fish store and maybe get credit or whatever, or I upgrade the tank. So what I was thinking was get rid of this scape in this tank, move the cichlids in here, and then rescape the Highline 300, which the cichlids are in at the moment, rescape it with old plants from here. So basically swap, and obviously there'll be some left over, which I could then scape another tank with. So basically recycle all the plants and have 2 new scapes, a really big Malawi cichlid scape for the Chindongo Salusi, and then rescape the Peninsula tank, and actually move that near my wife's desk, because we've rearranged our office space, and then potentially rearrange in here for the 2 Scapoline 60s. So that was the idea, and I did prepare the tank ready for a photo shoot and a final video, but then during that process of getting it ready for the photo shoot, etc., I just fell in love with it, and then I did, and we were just like, it's amazing. I don't want to get rid of it. I think it's my best ever scape.